Well, good morning, folks. Good morning. Another beautiful day. All right. Well, let's get going and see how far we get today on our scene here. So, for those of you who are new to my channel, um, I am making a short animated film, and I'm doing it in real time. The purpose of these videos is so that if you are a student of animation or just someone who's working on your own animated film and you're interested in seeing what happens if you watch somebody actually making something in real time, then that's what I'm doing, and it is for your benefit, for those to whom this applies. Obviously, everybody is not going to be interested in this, I know, but um, I've seen a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and I know that people usually make time-lapse videos to show themselves working on things, but I think real-time videos are, in my opinion, better and probably more instructive. Um, I'm working in Rough Animator, which is a very user-friendly and inexpensive software for people who are doing their own animation. You can buy the desktop version of Rough Animator for $10. If you're using an iPad, you can get a version for your iPad, which is $5. And unlike most software that's made for animation, this particular software can be purchased outright. So you're not having to pay a subscription fee each month for it, which can get very expensive. I'm working on a Wacom Cintiq, though you could work on different types of tablets. The Wacom is very good, but there are other tablets out there that you can get that will also work just as well. And I use this drawing stylus for my Wacom. If you're working on your iPad, you will need an Apple Pencil. Okay, so those are the basics. If you have questions, you feel free to leave questions in the comment section if you like. Also, on my site, you will see that there is a website link, and through that website link, you're also able to contact me as well. All right, let's get started. Let's get going. All right, so we're just doing color at this point and final color on stuff. So this is where we are now. And so what I have up here is I have a layer of blank frames that I can do my cleanup lines on. So that's what we'll be doing here. And I'm going to go up to, excuse me, a full size so that I can see the characters better. All right. I have the pen set on a solid color, solid line, so that as I make that line, it is a solid line. There we go. Miguel, who is the character that I'm cleaning up right now, has a solid black line all around him. When you're doing clean line work, you do need to develop a discipline for making clean lines. And that just means you need to work on your line work, which means you need to practice drawing clean lines so that it becomes easy to do. One way to do that is to get yourself a blank sheet of paper and practice drawing lines all across the page. Short lines, long lines, wavy lines, circles. The idea is to get your hand into the position of, or into the practice of making clean lines that are uninterrupted. The more you practice, doing that, the easier it becomes. And there really isn't any shortcut to it. You pretty much just have to practice to get your lines to be as clean as you like them to be. As you can see, we have a setting here for a line tool. It's very handy. Yeah, it's very handy for straight lines and, you know, things where you need to have an exact line. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the wavy line here. So go ahead and paint Miguel. Let's see. Now to fill in these little areas, I do a paint behind so I can get into these little cracks and get the color where I want it. Okay, so we got Miguel done. Okay, so now we're going to get Jason done next. Jason's lines are a light tan color for his outlines. I try to stay as consistent as I can with where I put lines on a character, though sometimes I find that as I'm working, um, I may not remember little details, and I have to be careful that to make sure I'm carrying the proper details from drawing to drawing. But sometimes you get little errors. It does happen, so you just have to watch out for it. On these characters, I try to give a softness to the character, which is why I use color lines. it sort of takes the harshness away from the line. It's not as harsh um, when it's a color line. It's a little bit easier to take. Now you can see I'm drawing. I'm putting a line actually on top of, because this character's on the top of this layer where the box is. So okay, all right. Now, like here, I'm using the flesh color because I'm going to paint the flesh that color, and so I want I don't want to have a line underneath the eye, so I'm painting it that flesh color. So you'll see here, as I put the, whoops, that's the wrong color. Yeah, see, that softens the line underneath the character's eye and the teeth and all that. Yeah, because I want that line to be soft. So if I made it black, it'd be kind of harsh, but I'm making it flesh color so it's softer. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Right. And then the block. Yeah. Okay, so the block is blue on this side and this color blue on the bottom. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You guys can't see it. I have to bring that. So I make it smaller. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I have them working on top of that box. Makes more sense. Okay, so let's hit save. All right, let's see. All right, let's just go back to fit to the window. We'll go to the very next frame. Okay, and we'll start with Miguel again. Okay, and I mentioned yesterday or the day before, I forget when, but that this part of the job for me is relaxing because this is the place where I say might play music or maybe listen to, I don't know, audio book or something. Listen to the word being taught, something like that, because I can kind of unhook my brain at this point because I'm really just cleaning up and painting, so I'm not having to think like I would if I were animating something. You know, when you're animating, you need to focus on what you're doing. So you need to have your attention on the process of creating the character's movement so you can't have any distractions if you're going to effectively do the job, that is. But when you're doing in-betweens or if you're doing like this color cleanup and painting. Not to say it's a mindless act, because it isn't a mindless act, but it does afford you a little more freedom to unhook your mind and just enjoy the process of actually making, because you're just tracing the lines at this point. So it's not mindless, but you know, you are able to unhook here. So that's cool. See, I have to also remember that this is working on top. All right, let's see. Yeah, so the line work is there. We want a solid line. Let's see. Put this in front. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's see. So we got the color on Miguel here. His mouth here. His lips. I'm going to fill in that little white spot right there. And then his teeth are going to be white. We'll swap that in. Let's see, the shirt's purple. Bump. There we go. Okay, so we got Miguel all done. So now, go over here and do Jason. Oops. Got to put it back on the wavy line, the regular line. That's the crazy thing about working digitally. For me, I'm so used to, as an old timer here, I did everything on paper when I first started in the animation industry. So when you're working with your pencil, you just tend to think that, it's a pencil. But of course, the stylus has different properties depending on how it's set. And of course, if you've got a different setting for your pen, you can forget sometimes when you're working what that setting is. So there we go. So you have to constantly remind yourself of the setting that you have your pen on. And so many things to think about. Okay, so there's this in there. Also, too, I find myself, going back and forth, like if a line needs to work on top of a color, then you got to go back and set it for that. So many things to be concerned about. So this is in the front. Okay, so put that line there. Now see here, I'm having to kind of imagine where the body would have to be, because I had decided that he's going to be on top. Let's see here. So, yeah, see, so that line's going to be operating there, would probably there. Right. Then the skin. So we gotta have the eye line here. And I'm using that color to separate the color of the eye so that it's not, it's on the tops underneath. Alright, so let's see the lines. So we want to go, send that line, can use that color. So are we on top or behind? I think we're behind here. Bring that down. Okay. Alright, so then color on the face. Alright. Color on the eyes, color on the teeth. So the color on the hair. Okay. Flip back. Yeah, that's right. And then color on the shirt. And you have to be careful about the stripes. It's always a frustration for me. Those blasted stripes. Let's see. It's down to one there. Let's see. So, and then, yeah, okay. So we've got light color here for the front of the box, and then darker color for the sides of the box. Hit save. There we go. We've only got about 3 more drawings to do, but we're already over 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop here. Alright, so pretty soon we're going to be done with this scene. Be another scene finished. Alright, good folks. Well, hey, so today is Friday. So obviously this weekend I'm going to be resting up. So I'll pick up on Monday. So you all have a good weekend. I hope you have an enjoyable weekend. Don't forget to thank God for your talents and gifts. You know, give Him praise and glory. All right, folks. So I'll see you next week. See you on Monday. And don't forget, Jesus is Lord.